There's a lot of talk nowadays about sort of male loneliness epidemic. I'm not sure how much of that is a thing and how much it is just a loneliness epidemic. I would certainly encourage people to, like I said earlier, find community.
I'm Tash.
I'm Matthew.
And we are the owners of Bleeding Hearts Tattoo. We wanted you to step in and maybe feel like you're in your auntie's house.
The vibe in the shop is just really nice and friendly.
These guys are my safe space, they are my best friends.
We wanted everybody to feel comfortable, so regardless of your age, your gender, your like diagnoses.
We have things like fidget toys and disposable earplugs, so if they have like noise or sensory issues.
I definitely think that there is a link between being neurodiverse and getting tattoos.
It's a way for neurodivergent people to express themselves.
Hello, I'm Duncan, I'm 41 years old and I do care work. I've got combined ADHD and just over a year ago I was diagnosed autistic as well, which, yeah, it's a strange thing, simultaneously really new, but also something I've been living with for sort of 41 years. And I'm just having to completely recontextualise all the things, how I see the world, how I respond to the world, and yeah, it's been interesting.
Hello mate, how's it going?
Good, thank you. Excited about today.
Awesome. Come on, grab a seat.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm 37. I'm suspected autistic and confirmed dyscalculia, and I'm a tattoo artist.
Right, what you got for me?
So, based on what you sent me,
Yes,
drawn this up for
exactly.
so we've added some of the longer lines. Duncan is having two identical suns on his knees, so within my style, but a little bit dark to cover the whole like kneecap and surrounding areas.
I just think it's like the placement and the design is going to look really bold and striking. They're in a sort of medieval style, which is something I like. Again, it sort of links to my love of history, my old illustrations and stuff like that. And I think it's going to be a really good starting point for, yeah, building up my legs with various pieces by artists that I really like.
Is there any particular meaning behind the tattoo or reason you've gone for this?
I love the style, the sort of medieval style. I find it, you know, it sort of links to like stuff I love about history and things like that. Didn't really think about it, but obviously we're just coming to the shortest time of the year, and where you don't see the sun much, and it's just quite nice to have a sort of reminder it's coming back. I've always loved getting outdoors. Again, didn't realise until more recently that it was a really important part of how I regulate myself. I love fractal patterns, which you just find all around you in nature. I love the, you know, shades of green and natural colours. Looking up in the branches, the leaves, looking down at the ground. I love fungi and mushrooms, you know, I love moss and plants and animals. I think in future I'd love to be more involved in working in sort of conservation or management of environments and things like that, because yeah, it just brings a lot to my life. It's going to look great. It'll make me smile.
Yeah, it'll look cool. Awesome. Okay, well, have a sit here, have yourself a drink and snacks if you want, and I'll shout you when I'm ready.
All right, Sam. Thank you.
I do really like being out in nature. I think it depends on the circumstance. So sometimes we love to take our son out to nature. That can be stressful in itself because, you know, they're little flight risks and they just want to pick up everything and walk dead slow. And I think part of my like neurodivergence is patience. When we're having a good day, I do really enjoy it. Our like most recent one was we were going through a forest and I was looking for those little red mushrooms because I'd never seen one in real life and I always wanted to see one. And I eventually found about 8. It was great.
That's the kind of boot I want. Like that.
They're Chelsea boots.
Yeah, but they're not pointy Chelsea boots.
Dealers.
That's what they're called.
Dealer boots.
Dealer boots.
That's what farmers call them. These are what are they? Birkenstocks. Yeah, I've got
Oh,
them because they're not pointy.
Nice.
The main concerns with tiring knees is they can be quite painful. So whether he'll be able to sit for both knees is going to be, we don't know. It might be good, it might be not. Some people will surprise you. Did you moisturise?
I've been moisturising 3 times a day for the last week.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's just because you know the skin on knees can be quite dry.
Yeah.
Especially like you say you do a job that I think involves outdoorsy stuff a bit. You know, if you're
Yeah, this time of year when you're either outside and it's cold, or you come in, everything's like blasted with heat.
skin dry.
Everything just, it's really dry, yeah.
Do you shave a lot of knees and that?
I do, unfortunately. It's kind of weird.
This is the first for me.
Shave a lot of everything.
Smooth? Yeah.
Ash, can I have your anatomical help for a second?
I don't know if it looks too far over. I know this is going to be weird, can I get you to slightly bend your knee for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, see when his leg's like that, it looks pretty spot on. You do just have very big muscles here, don't you?
Yeah, muscular legs.
When I had my knees tattooed, the guy that did it, he's danced with them about 7 times. And on the last one, he got really angry with me. And he was like, if I can't do it this time, I'm not doing it. And I was really young, and I was like, okay. Because I didn't know any different or any better at the time. But
Your fault for having knees.
yeah.
I've been tattooing for about 7 years, and 5 of those have been made up of being aware of the problems in the industry caused by things like abuse and sexual assault and just inappropriate behaviour from other people in the industry, and those do tend to be other men. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. So my kind of goal and ethos around the stuff like that is to make sure that I can evidence to people that I'm not that kind of man and that they will be safe with me. I tend to ruffle a lot of feathers in the tattoo industry with my opinions. Not bad opinions, by the way, good opinions, or what I was listening
Well, yeah, I've seen some of that, like you're involved in the, was it the Draw the Line project and things like that?
Yeah. I'm part of a group that's working to try and make differences in the industry, and unfortunately the tattoo industry can sexualise people quite a lot, and it's inappropriate and it needs to change.
I think that sounds like a really good idea. Like, because I've got a friend who's been on the receiving end of like an abusive tattooer.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. I think it's really important for men to speak up about a lot of the problems that are out there, because not enough men do. It's mostly the women.
Yes, it's a hard and difficult time to be a man, but I think it's a hard and difficult time to be anyone. Like, whatever I'm going through is a piece of piss compared to someone who might be trans or might be gay and is seeing all the hatred and vitriol that's out in just, it's just common now. It's okay for all of that absolute hatred and shit to be flung at people who are just good people, normal people trying to live their lives.
And there are quite a few people in the industry who do hold quite a toxic mentality towards this, what they would refer to as woke agenda.
And yeah, I suppose at the minute we're seeing a lot of pushback against that. Things that we sort of took for granted of rights and acceptance that I thought would just be here for good, because they were, and it turns out they're not. And I find that scary and upsetting. People in my sort of woke lefty crowd, mates, for the most part, are just kind people, good people, curious.
What's your favourite tattoo that you've got?
Yeah, I think it'd be my back piece. Big skull with a couple of flowers. I like skulls, they look pretty cool. Collector, hoarder. Yeah, I mean, I'm always fascinated when I'm outside about things I find. So there's a lot of pebbles, a lot of bones. I like art, I can't afford anything expensive, but I love picking up pieces of people that I like and photographers that I like. I've collected many things over the years.
I'm also a bit of a collector. It's almost like a little addiction. I've had it before with loads of things. Before I met Tash, I collect watches, which were really expensive. And obviously I didn't know why, I just wanted them and I had them, never wore them. I hate wearing them because they feel horrible on me, but I used to buy them because I liked the way they looked. It was books, first edition books, Discworld, Terry Pratchett stuff. I've collected loads of stuff. There was a point where I collected and grew succulents. I had a whole greenhouse.
Fossils and things like that. These are all things that I've loved since I was a kid. And actually I've realised that's never gone away. And I think that's part of going back to the whole, diagnosis, how has it helped, that's helped me to zone in on what do I actually love, what do I like, and going back to that stuff again and sort of refinding it, which is, really nice to do.
What made you go for a diagnosis for autism? Is it autism you've got?
Yeah, I've got both.
So you've got?
I've got all of it.
Like a Pokemon card.
Yeah.
Collect them.
Both of my sort of diagnoses came as a result actually of ex-partners. looking into it, read some books, find out more about it, and then as I was sort of reading these books, I went, oh, well, that's me. Well, I think it was more a case of I was reading all these things, I was like, but that's just normal, isn't it? Like, everyone's like that, aren't they? And, you know, people looking at me funny when I said that. Because for so long, I was, you know, so many things I was struggling with, like a lot of health issues, like chronic fatigue and, you know, mental health issues and stuff as well.
Yeah.
For no obvious reason. You know, why am I doing the same work as everyone else, but they're all fine, whereas I'm permanently exhausted? Even when you talk about stuff like reasonable adjustments at work, I bounced between a lot of jobs where I was just trying to keep a job, hold it down and pay the bills, as opposed to being able to, you know, pursue what I really wanted to do. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of grief about that. It's how things could have been different.
That last bit is always something I thought, especially with jobs. I always used to think to myself, why do I hate every job I do? Why is every job so exhausting, and why do I feel so overwhelmed and overstimulated by every single thing I do, yet everyone else seems perfectly happy?
Yeah.
And I just thought for years I was just miserable. I just thought I was a naturally miserable person. Tash says that I've not got, well, she says I've not got resting bitch face, I've got resting bitch voice, but I also do think I have resting bitch face too, because it depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes if I'm in deep thought and deep conversation, I can look really angry, even if I'm not. Problems I had in my past was I worked in a lot of call centres, which is definitely the wrong job for me. And they try and train you to put on this fake voice, and they'll tell you, oh, you should smile on the phone because the customer can hear it. But I can't fake who I am. I've never been able to do that. But unfortunately, part of the autism experience, I think, for a lot of people, as I know I'm not the only one who has that problem. Yeah.
The fact that I'm quite a big guy, I'm sort of quite tall, I've got the tattoos and the shaved head. Again, with my tone of voice and things, I can sometimes be perceived as being rude or angry or aggressive when I'm not. But then often, you know, people respond to that negatively. I don't like that, and then that's where we end up. I suppose people often think, or certainly when I was younger, because of the sort of person I am, the things I was interested in, like sports and stuff, that I am just a blokey bloke, and that was never something that I felt on the inside. That was usually something I kept to myself. I suppose you call it masking, you know, just trying to fit in. And that involved being around people and conversations and topics that I really didn't like, and made me really, you know, really uncomfortable. But you just sort of go along with what's expected and follow the script that everyone else is following, because, you know, I was trying to fit in. And that's one of the things that's nice now, is knowing that I don't have to do that. I don't have to follow that script. I can seek out the people and sort of situations and conversations that I like, and I can completely avoid the ones I don't, which is good.
Did you go through a period where you thought you were just depressed or anxious rather than anything else?
Well, yeah, I've when particularly in my younger years, like 20s and everything, I had quite a few periods of quite serious depression. You know, stuff that involved being, you know, sort of hospital visits at times and things like that, and there was never particularly a reason for it, you know. Yeah. I was just incredibly overloaded all the time. There's a lot of talk nowadays about sort of male loneliness epidemic. I'm not sure how much of that is a thing and how much it is just a loneliness epidemic. I would certainly encourage people to, like I said earlier, find community. I think that's a big thing. There's talk groups like Andy's Man Club. You know, if you've got an interest in something, you can usually find a group around that. And I think it's about just talking to people and being open. You know, when someone says, how are you? Don't say you're fine if you're not. Actually tell someone. That can be risky, you know. That doesn't always go well. But I suppose I'd encourage people to find someone who they can have that conversation with.
Are we all done? Do you want to go and have a look in the mirror?
Absolutely, yeah.
What do you think?
It looks brilliant, yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
So good, I might get another.
Amazing. Yeah, well, we'll definitely get you in to do the other knee, so you've got a matching pair. That'll look really cool.
Yeah, so we're going to come back and get the other one done and get a matching pair. So halfway there. It's been a really good experience all round, and it's nice to be able to talk to someone in a similar sort of place, someone who's been through similar things, but also different stuff as well. And it's just nice to be able to talk freely.
What are you doing, Steve?
Not much. I think go home, have see my family, see my brother, have a catch up. That'll be good, and have some food. I think a quiet night. I'm done for the day.